Mwangi, USA.
Your duty.
How will it be?
Oh, it has already been. Ushatufundisha.
Nishawafundisha, it has already been.
Yeah, ushatufundisha.
Nataka siku moja manzee hii kitu ishike mpaka tuko tunapiga hizi mastori kwa stage alafu nashika mic na nataka nishike mic siku moja ni shout kama vile ma musician who shout how will it be alafu nipeane mic huko kwa crowd.
It has already been.
Crowd iseme it has already been. Yeah. How was it? Eh?
Good.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's my weekend to work. I work in healthcare. Kwa wale ambao hawajui.
Yeah.
I work in healthcare, so 9 to 5, so weekends uko off. But
yeah.
Nikajipata niko on call, saa nimeitwa kazini.
Yeah.
So nimerudi tu home sai.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Ulikuwa ushafika ukaitwa?
No, weekend sasa uko home.
Oh,
when you're on call.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have alternating weekends for the managers that you are on call. So this is my weekend on call, but if there's something that is required for you to go in, you have to go in.
Correct.
Because you are the one on call.
So unaweza kuwa na pajamas zako hapo hivyo una daradara dogi yako uko kwa couch unakunywa ka warm coffee kidogo. Simu inapigwa.
Na sema walai.
Ile dissect huko nataka kuchange inabidi so umeoga umeanza kujipaka sijui mafuta na ulikuwa unataka kukaa freestyle.
Man, wacha nikwambie alafu na va uniform so I had to get dressed niende.
Damn, unavaa uniform na ni on call?
Well, you don't have to, but because I was going to go in patients' rooms and sometimes kuna ma infection na nini.
Right.
So I just wear. I think it's easier that way for me.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, na pia ukiwa uko kwa ward ama uko kwa unit, si ati unakaa tu boss, unakaa tu mmoja wao.
Yeah. I usually just wear my scrubs anyway, regardless, even throughout the week.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hiyo pesa ya healthcare hizo zenye tunasikia registered nurses wako nazo, kumbe first of all hata kama ziko zinakuja na a lot of responsibility.
Yes, 100%. Zinakuja na a lot of, I think the higher you climb,
the higher the responsibilities.
The higher the responsibilities, and it might not be physical work.
Yeah.
So as far as managerial positions, it's more demanding because you're dealing with managing people, and also you're dealing with patients.
Right.
So responsibilities zinaenda zikiongezeka.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the money is there.
so see ya kila mtu hii healthcare regardless of the fact that money is there. Unajua si tukitoka mtaani everyone all the Africans wakitoka mtaani everyone says enda healthcare. So the fact that iko si hiyo kazi si ya kila mtu.
No, it's not for everybody. Na kuna wale they come in, they test it, they test the waters, wanasema hapana. This is not for me, I can't do it, and they just leave because that's not for them.
That is me, and that's why yeah. That is me. Mimi ni huyo msena. Thank you for coming to this podcast recording today.
Yeah.
Tulikuwa tumeongea siku ingine briefly but tukasema we will now talk about hiyo tu life ya healthcare, siasa za healthcare workplace. Kuna vigeti tu hiyo environment. Unajua watu wanasemaga tu enda healthcare but we rarely talk about the nitty-gritties of being in healthcare. Yeah, and just like any other work najua kuna changamoto, but first of all, wewe vile ulianza uko chini kabisa and ama ulianza huko juu na ma certificate na ma license, and how was it at first?
No, nilianza chini.
Yeah.
Nilianza kwa CNA. CNA is Certified Nursing Assistant.
Yeah.
So they work under the licensed nurse.
Yeah.
They help with patient care, patient care, basic needs, activities of daily living. Unawasaidia kuwaosha, you wash them, feed them, dress them, vitu za kila siku.
Right.
And then you report to the nurse if there is any like changes in condition or stuff like that. Unachukua ma vital signs, basic things, Evo. So I did that for like 3 years, and then I went back to school for licensed practical nurse.
Yeah.
So now you have a little more responsibilities. You're giving medications.
Yeah.
You can give different medications, but you have limitations as far as some states. You have limitations as far as IV medications.
Yeah.
There are some things that you have to report to the RN so the RN can do the thing because it's above your scope of practice.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can do a lot of things. Wound care. You can poly care, vitu kama hizo, and all the duties that a CNA can do, a nurse can do.
All the duties that a CNA can do, a nurse can do.
A nurse can do. So in addition to all the CNA work, not that is part of her job, but she's able to do it. She can do it. If there was no CNA, a nurse can chip in and be a CNA.
Yeah.
Because it's within their scope of practice to do CNA work.
Okay.
So the LPN reports to the RN. So the RN supervisor. So after that, I did that for quite a few years. And then family life could jaribu kubalance hivyo. And then recently I went back to school in 2021. Nikamaliza from 2021 to like 2023 hivi. Ndio nilipata my RN certificate licensing. So now the RN have more responsibilities, like I was saying.
Well, based on your illustration and explanation, I can tell you are what we call an institution man, or in your case, an institution woman. An institution man in the context of watu wanafanyia kazi serikali ama agencies kubwa ni ule mtu ako ndani kabisa. Yani kwenye amefika there's no turning back. Ako ndani hiyo matrix na miguu yote.
Man, when you hear about the matrix, nasema nilingia huku ndani hivi when.
Yeah, because like wewe tungekuwa tunasema in real estate there's a popular word inasemaga ukiongea na msee about a transaction, kuuza nyumba, kununua nyumba, you want to put it on the market, it can be your agent. Most people either agent ama mwenye anauza ama anabuy, kuna swali fundamental kwa hiyo conversation na ikosagi. Unaulizagwa, do you have a skin in the game? Wewe nikikufanya ukue agency wangu, uko na skin in the game, ama utazunguka mara mbili niambie upati buy ama seller.
Right?
Yeah, na pia vice versa juu pia ukideal na customer ama client, hiyo shughuli itakuwa stressful, na kuna client wengine hawana skin in the game ya kupiga transactions kama hizo, so anakusumbua.
Yeah. So I've been around in the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
Although there are different sectors in healthcare, you can and there are different departments, as you know. Kuna specialties. Kuna unaweza kuenda med surg, unaweza enda psych. Wewe ulienda psych? Mimi nilianza na psych. Nijikute psych.
Unajua siko na just testing waters. How did you have you ever had a psych experience, and how was it?
So when you go to school during your clinical rotations, zile mnaendanga when you're still in school,
right,
you have an opportunity to go for rotations kwa med-surg, floors, maternity, labor and baby, then pediatrics, and then psych, and then I think long-term care. And sometimes you can, if you're lucky, you can go to a skilled nursing facility instead of a nursing home. These are my dementia units, vitu kama hizo. So when I did my psych rotation in LPN, I knew for a fact that I don't want to work there. And then when I did my RN rotation, now it's cemented that is not for me.
Yeah.
That is not. And there's some nurses that are really strong in that field, and everybody is different. Kuna wale wako strong in med-surg. There are others that are really good with dementia patients.
Yeah.
There are others that are really like strong in psych. And others like maternity. So and pediatrics. There are some that can't stand taking care of small babies because they get so attached and they just can't do it.
Right.
So it depends on everybody's strengths and weaknesses. So you go where you're stronger.
Now mimi hapo nilitest the waters, nika realize enyewe that is not my strongest suit. either the department itself, psych, but too job yenyewe kuna zile pressure iko nazo.
Yeah.
Na mi based na zile vitu naweza kuwa niko passionate kufanya ama naweza taka kufanya. Kuna ile inaitwa aje, acceptance level ya ile pressure unaweza kubali. Ile tolerance, that was what I was looking for. My tolerance level for that job is very low. But how did you manage to rise from CNA kwenda shule, bouncing from school, different workplaces, trying this, unajua hisi yangu, all through? Is it love? I mean, is it passion? Ama tu you just had opportunities and ignoring them na unasema nishaanza hii kitu hata tu nipambane nayo?
Opportunities as far as like non-healthcare?
Non-healthcare. Yeah, non-healthcare.
No, I have not had any opportunities, non-healthcare opportunities. So all the opportunities that I get is either from one facility to another one, or from one specialty to another one.
Yeah.
So no, I did not have any other like non-healthcare opportunities.
Yeah.
And because when we first come in, you go with the direction of your host.
Yeah.
And I think at that time my host was in school for nursing also.
Yeah.
So I think needless to say, you just follow what your host tells you until you figure things out. And if it works for you, then you stay there.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then you have the option to choose. So that's why I started like going to that direction of healthcare.
And in Kenya, before you moved to the United States, you were in a totally different field, correct?
Yes, I was in the broadcasting media sector. So yeah. I didn't know anything about healthcare.
Okay.
I did try to go to Inaitwa KMTC.
Yeah, KMTC.
But I don't think either my math was low or something. something
Yeah.
there. I know I tried to go there.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know why I was going there because I didn't even know anything about nursing or anything. Maybe
Yeah.
Ukimaliza college, you're just trying different. Ukimaliza high school, you're just trying different things.
Right.
So I went and applied there.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me something about my math was low or something. My grades were low.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't succeed in that. And so I got a job at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation when they started the first FM station in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started my job in the media. So it was on-the-job training. We were very young.
Mm-hmm.
About 17 people were selected. It was a nationwide campaign looking for new broadcasters for the FM station.
Mm-hmm.
So after that selection, we had that on-the-job training as presenters for the FM station. Yeah.
Now you are a communication guru in Kenya, and you moved to the United States. How was that shift from media to healthcare? Na inakaa best na vile ulielezea hapo earlier, adapting was not complicated for you.
Says who?
Umenipea pale umenipea vibe a smooth operator.
Smooth operator ni wewe. Wacha nikwambie.
Umenipea hiyo vibe niko zile za dem time, girl. Hey, go.
No, man, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, Todo. Where? Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The first thing, you come in and you're seeing people they're called briefs or incontinent pads or whatever. But at that time, ujui hizo ni nini. So you have to get trained on that.
Yeah.
This is a completely different sector. I had no idea of what to do.
Yeah.
So that was a shock for me because so how am I going to take care of these people? So it was very shocking. And then when I went to a dementia unit, I had never, done any dementia classes, although they will train you.
Yeah.
But if everything is so new to you, you're like, guy.
Regardless of the training,
everything is a new experience to you.
Yeah.
So how to deal with dementia patients, how sometimes they're aggressive.
Yeah.
And I know it's the disease process and everything, but at that time you're like brand new, you don't really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's better, it's easier, you are trained how to deal with different behavior.
Yeah.
But at that time you're like, what? When they start swinging at you, your first reaction is your gut, your reflex. Your reflexes. But then you can't do that, so you're like, okay, so I have to remove myself from this situation or call for help. So those are the trainings. But it's just you're exposed to so much and everything is so new. And you're expected to perform at 100%.
Right.
And this is just, everything, it was just so new to me. But then with time, you get used to it. But hey, washing the patients, giving them a complete bedpan, a complete bed bath, helping them with the bedpans and stuff.
Yeah.
One time I remember my first CNA training. Oh my God. I don't even know how I survived.
You needed to pay the bills.
Man, I was assigned, so my preceptor, I was assigned to, so there was this lady, so she was teaching me how to offer a bedpan to the lady.
Yeah.
And so that she was one of those ladies you can't leave by themselves. You can't leave them. You have to stay there because they are full risk. They might start doing stuff and they might fall out of bed. So why did I give her the bedpan? And I started to leave. To leave the room. So that lady said, so she asked me where I was going, the preceptor. I said, I'm going outside to give her privacy. What? She said, privacy anywhere. We just pull the curtain.
Yeah. Pull
the curtain around and just stay around. You can't just leave.
You can't
leave. Yeah, you can't leave the room. So I was like, okay. What? So I'm supposed to stand there
and watch
and wait.
It happened to me too when I was working in the psych unit. I think in normal healthcare umesema ni fall risk kama you just been very careful with them.
Safety, yeah.
For safety purposes. So for CC, because it's mental health issues, we did what was called direct observation. So basically we say mko rada yake bumper to bumper.
Line of sight unamuona ile kitu anafanya.
Sasa kuna hiyo 1-to-1 yenye uko na yeye afai kukua, yani ukistretch mkono yako hivi afai kukua mahali wezi mshika.
Okay.
Hadi unatembea naye kama bodyguard. Hiyo ni kaito 1-on-1. Yaani unatembeaga naye kama umeshika file. Akijikuna masikio, sasa kuna ile hiyo 1-on-1 ni every 15 minutes. Na una document kitu imehappen every 15 minutes. So akijikuna masikio hapo between 10 and 15 minutes uta document basically behavior yake. Alafu kuna hizo direct kwenye uko tu rada yake, ufai maybe uko around 10 steps mkando yake tu kimwangaliaga. So hizo ma 1-on-1 zilikuwa zinanibo because for example, because it's a direct observation 1-on-1, you have basically kutembea naye kama twin brother ma twin sister wako. hadi akiingia bathroom. So mimi nilifanyaga the same thing. Ameingia bathroom, nikatoka, but nikaweka mguu kwa mlango isifungike kabisa ikuwe namsikia. So nikasema it's just, hata kama akili yake ifanyi kazi poa, it's just courtesy kumpea tu privacy yake, hata kama ningekuwa kwa ndani. Nilipigiwa hapo msomo. Ufai kumwacha peke yake uko ndani, anaweza jinyonga, anaweza jifanyia. Na mimi niko zile za mimi niko ndani kwa mlango na nimeweka mguu hapo isifungike. Kumbe hata ufai yani macho yako isimtoke even 1 minute.
yeah, that is like one-on-one.
Yeah, so we both had a similar situation. Experience ya kwanza una lazima ushautiwe kwanza.
Yeah. And then another experience that I remember vividly is like the first time I dealt with a stroke patient. And how depending on which side of the brain is affected by the stroke, how it can affect the patient. So this patient, he was very, very nice. He was nice, but all the words, like every 3-4 words would be a curse word. And he can't help it. He was like aphasic, so he wasn't able to speak clearly. But most of the time when he will try to do like sign language of what he's saying, but every 3 or 4 words he would say, it would be a curse word, and he would be so embarrassed because I think in his mind he knows what he's saying, but that's not what he wants to say. So I felt like that. I felt very sad for him because I don't know. And then he had that left or right-sided weakness. I don't remember which one. But so that was the first time I witnessed that stroke, like a stroke patient with paralysis. And then my first days is when I saw patients with shingles. Like, you are exposed to different kinds of diseases. Okay, you are like, guy, there are so many diseases. Like what? Because in Kenya, either people don't go to the doctors to get diagnosed, or they know what they have, but nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of both. First of all, Dani, who has the luxury of just going for checkups here and there, even with the insurance? They wanasumbua na hata insurance, they can't give you treatment basic. But
insurance is something else.
It's something else. Kwanza huko mtaani, that's the major problem. Even though tunaliaga yetu ni expensive, at least when you have it, you can just pop in a healthcare facility na upigwe macheka haraka na auta feel kama ni cost kubwa. Yeah, but I feel like my highlight for healthcare was not even the work. But I feel like work is difficult, work is not pleasing, work is annoying. Sometimes even when you're working for yourself, challenges ni mingi, you will have difficult customers. Utakuwa tu na hizo difficulties. My highlight though was on office politics. I've managed office politics in a corporate environment. And I feel like in a corporate environment, apart from feeling like I'm wasting my time, I can manage it well. Kubora tu unajua hizo corporate lingo za shifting gears softly. Committee lazima utoe hizo malingo za corporate shifting gears swiftly. I would like us to conduct a quick analysis on the low-hanging fruits. Bora unajua hizo corporate lingo utasikizana na wasee huko job. But in healthcare though, in my view, I feel like it's a women-dominated field. Na kuna a lot of emotive instances zina happen on the floor. First of all, ni job ngumu, na wale watu wako hapo ni watu personalities tofauti, na kusema tu kweli mahali kuna mademu wengi, watu mnakosanaga haraka sana, kuna competition sana.
It's true, and most of the time there are only like a few guys, like
Yeah.
Most places that I've worked, it hasn't been more than 10 guys working at. No, hata hiyo ni mingi. Maybe five per shift. That's a, yeah.
Because like, for example, when I went to my dentist, at my dentist place, I only saw one guy. Or were they two? If ni wengi sana, mwenye nakumbuka tu ni mmoja, na alikuwa tu hapo front desk. Kama kuna mwingine, nilimuona kidogo kidogo. But maximum naweza sema kwa hiyo ofisi, hiyo dentist, kuna vijana wawili, na madem kama 10.
I know.
Madem kama 10. Aya, when I go to my PCM, my primary care physician, ni hivyo. In fact, kwa PCM wangu, sijaiona boy. So na assume kama kuna mwanaume ako huko anafanya vitu zingine, but for all us in interact now from front desk, kwa wale wase wananipiga ma BP na ma temperature before nione PCM, I've never met a guy. So
only women.
Yeah, those are just two instances. That means there are so many places where the ratio is like 2:10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so many. So Baka,
yeah.
Once in a while when we see a guy, we are like, oh, this one looks misplaced. They're out of place.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, going to school is one thing for it, but now on the floor, how did you manage those relationships with the opposite gender and with your gender na madrama tu zapo kwa floor too?
First of all, I want to mention kwanza the cliques.
The cliques, where? Thank you. Let's start with the cliques.
Let's start with the cliques.
That is like downtown New York. Kila mtu akona gang yake.
What? So you're coming in, you're an immigrant.
Right.
First of all, you are African.
Yeah.
So people already have established their own little relationships there.
Yeah.
So you're coming in, obviously it's like being a new kid in school.
A new kid on the block.
Yeah. Remember, like in high school or if you go to a new school, the way you're like, okay, what I'd naturally test the temperatures.
Right.
To see what's going on. So you find out that everybody has some kind of a clique.
Yeah.
So for the most part,
right.
When I first started, I used to just hang out by myself because I'm trying to figure out who is who and who is with who.
Yeah.
And then if you see some Africans, then those ones are a little bit more welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
So then they help you navigate the facility that you're working at.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me just having fellow Africans there, Kenyans or wherever they came from, different parts of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That helped me to navigate. But the other people, they had their own cliques. Of course, the Africans also had their own cliques, but when they see one of their own, they're more inviting,
right,
and more willing to help. But as you go on in the workplace, you find out the politics, the toxicity.
Yeah,
it is out of control sometimes, but it depends. Because I've worked in different facilities, some facilities are better than others as far as the culture.
Yeah.
And others, I'm like, oh my God, I can't work here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a place that I worked for 6 weeks only.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, there's no way.
6 weeks?
6 weeks. I didn't even finish my 12-week training. I just told them, this is not for me.
Right.
Yeah, this is not going to work for me because if the staff, they just do whatever they want. They talk however they want in front of the patients, in front of the other staff, and then the manager is no better.
Yeah.
She doesn't set the pace.
Right. I noticed
so
that.
So if the staff is doing what they're doing, and then you come in and join in and start just yelling,
right?
Instead of pulling them aside and trying to find out what the problem is. You just join and start yelling at them in front of the patients. I mean, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm working here if that's going to be my manager. Forget that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you won't even be able to be productive. Most of your time will be consumed by the pressure and the politics more than you do in your job. Because if that's the manager anakupea that environment, most of your day you'll just be like looking behind your back, over your shoulder. Ndo usiingie kwa ngori. Like, si environment inakufanya ukue creative, explorative, utake hizo chances juu unaona kama utasomea watu or something.
Yeah, but not all of them. Most of them have been really good. Good to me. I have, me personally, I haven't experienced like direct that negative energy, but I've seen it in different towards different people. I remember my first or second job as a CNA. There was this supervisor who was anti-Africans.
Yeah.
If you had an accent, like for us, we speak a little bit better, the English. Yeah. But there are others that if you just come straight from home, you have like a heavy accent.
Yeah.
So she would really pick on those ones for some reason. And I'm like, why do you keep picking on him? He's expressing him. The fact that he's not like fluent in English does not mean he's stupid.
Right.
He's still intelligent. It's just that he can't speak your language well. But I can promise you that if he starts speaking in his language, he will put his message across.
Yeah, correct. And for some reason, most people here measure intelligence based on language.
Your spoken word,
based on your language, like our accent, so to say, because if you have a specific accent, most people feel like you're not intelligent enough. But in my view, hata jobs kuingine ni moja ambia fulani kawambia, if you went to my country, I'm sure you would not speak Swahili as fluently as I'm speaking English.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're measuring intelligence based on an accent, the way you pronounce words in a different language, I would please welcome you to my language and hear how you will speak my language. And most of them cannot speak any African language.
True.
Yeah, but for some reason onaga sisi wenye wakukam tunakuwaga mafala sana.
I know. I'm like, why? Every time atakuja and they will just isolate him. We will be sitting there, all of us, maybe doing charting or doing whatever we are doing, documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And if she wants or she needs something done that is difficult, she will pick on him.
Yeah.
She will say, such and such, go and do this and go and do it right now. All loud. I'm like, wow. So most of the time we would just stop what we are doing and we would just go, all of us, and go help him to do whatever the thing is that he was assigned to do. But but for the most part, it has been good. The other challenge that I found was when I graduated my LPN, and because I was already working as a CNA there, so being elevated to an LPN and now having to tell the CNAs what to do, that wasn't sitting right with some people.
You're not. That is a direct. Most people would feel like it's a direct attack. Who do you think you are?
Yeah. That was kind of it was difficult for me initially.
Yeah, and that's like a vital interview question. In most interview questions, in most interviews, they will ask you the question, how would you manage creating boundaries, or what are the advantages of creating boundaries? So they are looking from a leadership point of view. Why is it necessary for people to create boundaries at work? It's because when you don't create boundaries, and in a situation where a task needs to be accomplished, when there is no boundaries, you cannot tell the other person to do anything, because they will be like, who do you think you are? Why are you telling me? Si tunakoga mabeste, mbona unaweza niambia kitu?
Unaniattack.
Amuna nionea. But mali kuna boundaries. Unajua mtu atajua hapa with business.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is to respect the position.
Yeah.
Even if you feel however you feel about the person.
Right.
respect their role in the job at that time.
Right.
Because roles can change. So yes, I was a CNA with you guys, but now I'm an LP. And even if you don't respect me, respect that role that I'm playing today, and respect the fact that it's within my scope of practice to tell you what I'm telling you or asking you to do.
Right.
Also, respect. If you're respectful, I've noticed that has really helped me throughout my career. It's to respect everybody, no matter what position they have in the facility. The cleaners, the housekeepers, the dietary people, everybody. So you treat everybody fairly and with respect, and you will receive the same thing back. Yeah. So when it comes to even us, like giving them instructions on what to do, you don't get any pushback because you started with setting the pace as far as I respect you as a person and I respect your role that you're playing in this facility. So, but sometimes in Isaac, you'll find isolated cases of one of them that they want to prove a point. And I think you just stand your ground and just be professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but is it, apart from chasing the check that we all do when we are going to clock in and clock out, hiyo maybe inaweza kuwa ilikupea courage kidogo ama motisha kidogo ya kupiga hiyo hustle? What do you...
The dough.
Yeah, the dough, of course, inaweza kuwa imekupea kwa sababu from a CNA to an LPN to an RN, of course umeenda ukiklaimbio ladder, unasikia saa zingine kadola kakiongezeka kanakuwa katamu. So hiyo unaweza sema inaweza kuwa imekupea impetus ya kupiga hiyo mboga. But apart from that, do you think you've been able to manage it well because did it come natural for you? Maybe that's my question. Because of the environment una feel mine za deal na madem hawezi nilemea.
It didn't come naturally. It did not. It did not, because I was never in this position, and there's things that you learn as you go. But like I said, if you have good relationships at work and with the boundaries and all that, so we don't have to be friends as such at work.
Yeah.
We don't have to be Facebook friends. We don't even have to you don't have to have my phone number if it's not work related.
We don't have to meet after work.
Yeah, we don't have to meet after work. We don't really have to do any of that. If people want to do that, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
So what matters is what do we do when we all get together for the purpose of taking care of these patients that we are assigned today.
Yeah.
So when I look at it that way, it's not a hassle for me. And
yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. It's not difficult. I don't want to say that it was easy, but it wasn't that difficult for me, like now, to adapt to the healthcare setting.
I must say, from a guy's perspective, I've done some hard things in my life, but let me not use the word hard. I must say challenging.
Challenging, yeah.
Situations where resilience is required. But I must say, working in a healthcare facility, first of all, my first job was not in psych. It was just in a normal facility, and I was in the ER. Just the experiences with the patients and their families, hiyo ilikuwa blanda. Na naweza sema in terms of resilience yangu haijakuwa that strong. Haijakuwa that strong to withstand just your environment. And that's why when you were explaining nilikuwa zile za dem, vile unaisema manze, inakaa so smooth.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. But
yeah, it's not.
In summary, as I usually try to end my podcast at around 1 hour. So we have like 15 minutes.
Okay.
How did you nilikuwa nimekuuliza earlier on. Sasa ulifeel nimeanza hii kitu, I manage. You know, that point where you make this thing your career. You starting off choices ni mingi, and you could have done anything or decided to be anything. Na unajua the moment umeamua kupiga LPN, hapo sasa niko umeanza kusema mimi ni kitu nitafanya for long, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't just get a license hang kwa nyumba.
No.
So that juncture of making that decision, was it because of basically just your host, ama unaweza sema ulikuwa umesettle for the immigrant idea that on ujanja yote MAJUU inaweza patikana kwa healthcare?
Because I think that was the setup. The setup in the beginning was, okay, healthcare has a lot of opportunities as an immigrant.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to go to school and do that.
Right.
It's easy for me to advance. So you can advance. There's no limit. You can advance. There's no limit to what you are able to accomplish. So it's a good avenue. It's a good avenue for me. So I didn't feel the need to start now looking for other things.
Yeah.
When I first came, of course, my option would have been to go to media and continue my life like that.
Yeah.
But the way my life was set up at that time, there was no way. It wasn't easy for me to make that transition. Because first you will need some kind of skills, some kind of level of training here.
Yeah.
And then so where was I going to work? Like to radio stations or TV stations or stuff like that.
And
you know what I mean? And then my accent, I had just gotten here. I wasn't even understanding a thing they were saying on radio.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an immediate option for me.
And my education, they don't really give a damn about our education that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an easier channel. There's healthcare people are needed. And here I am. I can help. Let me go do that and then get paid also at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a thing I picked on my own.
Yeah.
It was host geared. Yeah.
Ukajipata hapo, and now you are an institution woman.
Jeez, when you say it like that, I'm like, wow.
Uko ndani kabisa yani. What institution ile, you know, you're part of the system.
Niko kwa system ndani.
Yeah, uko kwa system ndani. Now,
yeah.
Has it been worth it for anyone who's listening to this podcast? Now, some people bado wako mtaani, and Life MAJUU majorly aims kufikia wale wase either wana plan kuondokea scene or live in motherland, aba wase wenye wamefika bado MAJUU na wana try kufigure out life moves zenye wata make kwa advance. Juu tulikuja huku kutafuta hii American dream. So for those people, do you think hii dream inaweza achivika watu wengi wakichukua hiyo route?
Yes and yes. Healthcare is, we are always going to need people.
Right.
So as far as job security, that one is secured. Financially, nurses are paid well compared to other sectors.
Right.
So depending on your state or depending on your skills level or your specialty and whether you're working for an agency or you're part of the staff, so or a travel nurse or whatever. So depending on that, your rates may change, but they're still up there. I have met very many people. I've created good relationships with people in high positions because of this job or this healthcare sector that I'm in. I have touched so many people's lives.
Lucy Mwangi, USA.
Yes and yes. Healthcare is, we are always going to need people.
Right.
So as far as job security, that one is secured. Financially, nurses are paid well compared to other sectors.
Right.
So depending on your state or depending on your skills level, your specialty, and whether you're working for an agency or you're part of the staff, so or a travel nurse or whatever. So depending on that, your rates may change, but they're still up there. I have I have met very many people. I've created good relationships with people in high positions because of this job or this healthcare sector that I'm in. I have touched so many people's lives. Been doing bedside nursing, patients' lives, being able to help them to move from one stage to another stage, to prosper and be ready to go home and continue with their life. I'm there. I have been there when the family is like sitting by their bedside for the patient that are passing away, that are on hospice and they are spending their last days with them, and being part of that support. Those are special things that nurses do on a daily basis. Right. But we don't even stop to realize what we are doing because it's part of the things that we do on a daily basis. So yeah, the bedside care is important. Right. And it's really needed. So yeah, so this is a good thing to pursue.
And it's a rewarding, based on what you've been saying, it's a rewarding career. You're doing something purposeful with your life. You're making a difference, correct?
Yes.
Now, before I let you go, you are a good caretaker. As a nurse, who takes care of you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Until 2025,
right.
And I'm kind of sort of embarrassed to say this because I should have known better.
Yeah.
So until late 2024, to the beginning of this year, I wasn't. That was not a priority for me.
Yeah.
So so there was no one.
Yeah.
So it's just, I take care of myself whenever I can, but I put everybody else as a priority, my job, my child, my extended family, the bills, all that.
Yeah.
And I realized that towards the end of last year, when I did a particular video, that I was like, I was on the edge. I was burnt out. I was tired.
Yeah.
I was stressed out mentally. I didn't feel like I'm stable, and I didn't feel like I was good. I wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I had to stop and ask myself, what is it that I'm doing wrong, and what do I need to do to fix it? And I realized that I put everybody else in front of me. Yeah. Like everybody's needs, I put them in front of my needs, and that is not okay. So I get stressed out and I get overwhelmed. So now I have decided to put myself first, to make myself a priority, because if I'm not okay, how am I going to take care of everybody else?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think most nurses, not just you, most nurses are guilty of that, because since I started watching nurses on YouTube, because everyone says, yeah, become a travel nurse, just get your NCLEX, you're good. Almost 80% of the nurses I listened to, or I still listen to, wanakuwaga na an element of dissatisfaction, regardless of the pay, regardless of the positions. Utasikia mtu amesema tu kitu, unafeel, na most of our viewers or listeners wanaulizaga swali moja almost every time. Unalia aje, unaweza aje complain na wewe ni nurse unalipwa top dollar. But in my view, based na vile umeelezea, naona it's easy to feel like despite the top dollar, it's not enough, because first of all, the work is demanding. If you have to be there even when someone is passing away, wewe hizo emotions zote, wewe ni comforter, wewe ni caretaker, wewe ni mzazi wa mtu mzima hapo hivyo, like you're basically taking care of mtu kutoka mwanzo hadi mwisho in their most vulnerable times of their life. But sasa wewe muko vulnerable, I feel like most nurses do not take the time find someone else to take care of them. Unajua isi lazima hata ikuwe relationship wise. Inaweza kuwa hata tu kuongea tu kwa hizo ma-stress zote za job utapeleka wapi?
You need an outlet.
Right.
Yeah, you need an outlet. And some of the factors that contribute to our burnout, nurses burnout, let's just a little bit talk about that. The patient care, the patient acuity imekuwa higher.
Yeah.
The patients are sicker.
Yeah.
They are sicker. They're coming in younger.
Yeah.
So it's not just the old folks now that are old and sick.
Yeah.
So it's the younger generation. They are sicker. And then the patient ratios ni zile. So you find that the patient nurse to patient ratios iko juu. So and then long hours. You're standing there now. Most places have introduced a 12-hour shift. There are some places that still have the 8-hour shifts for nurses, but now almost across the board is 12-hour shifts, and those are long hours.
Yeah.
Long hours, you're standing on your feet all day. Some people don't get a chance to take a break. And then the documentation is a lot. So in addition to you spending time with the patients, then you have to come and spend time documenting, because in nursing we say if you didn't document it, you didn't do it. Yeah, it didn't happen. So there's so many other factors. And then people are dealing with their own family issues. Then you have to come to work and deal with this extensive, difficult work that we do as nurses. So burnout is a thing, and people need to take care of that. We need to take care of ourselves better so we can have the energy and the mental capacity and the mental health if we're stable, so that we can take care of our patients better.
Yeah, because it's demanding. You are on your feet. You are under pressure. It's almost non-stop because kuna watu wanapiga job kama manases. When we started, you said ilikuwa off. Ulikuwa off, mtu akakuita tena.
I know.
And even for people who are not in managerial positions, that are sometimes most of the contracts, by the way, utaona in healthcare ukisign, they will tell you, this is your shift, but you might be required to come earlier. Or
stay
later, or come on
mandatory overtime,
or have a mandatory overtime apart from your normal schedule. Ukishatuona hiyo line ni kuambiwa pia uko on call. Unaweza katu hivi uito tu ambapo kuna shift nyingine. Unajua they won't force you for the shift, but they will offer you in a way you cannot refuse.
I know. I know.
Yeah, so but most people at a normal average LPNs, average RNs, average med techs, they are always almost on call. They work so hard. They are under pressure, but they don't get time to draw your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So burnout is a real thing, and most people should take care of themselves. Is equal.
Everybody.
Yeah. Take care of people, na wewe ujajiangalia, hata ujaienda massage bana.
By the way, people that don't take their paid time off, they accumulate all this paid time off, and then they don't take it. They never take time because they're like, I don't want you guys to work short. Okay, we'll find somebody else to cover for you. Please take your paid time off and go and relax and enjoy your life. It was a sad state of affairs when during COVID, one of our staff passed away, and he had accumulated so much PTO.
Yeah.
And so what happened to that PTO? If you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it, and I have a feeling the people in charge of those PTO, do you know they can allocate the PTO to themselves or other people, because kama yeye ndio kusema kwa hiyo PTO, na sometimes si hata kwa flop watu wanafanyianaga kazi kwa schedule yao. I see people sometimes on the floor, for example, CNAs do that a lot. For example, they're supposed to come to work tomorrow. Mtu anaambia best yake ni aje, cover my shift and then I'll cover your shift. You know, so if they can be able to interchange, or people who travel overseas, sometimes if you can find someone to cover your shift when you are away, you can go maybe even longer. So I'm just guessing, and if they can be able to play around with the schedule like that, that means if you don't take your PTO, and either you are fired or you
yeah,
resign,
what happened to it, by the way?
or you resign,
what happens to it?
or die. Inapeagwa mtu tu because the company will not. Hiyo tu ni mtu ataenda tu akona extra time kwa sababu it's just there. Na unajua hiyo ni pesa kampuni ishalipia.
Yeah.
That is time that has already been paid for. So someone else will use it to akwe ni mkubwa, akwe apea best yake.
Wow. So since that time, I don't, unless I have my PTO accumulated for something specific, like going to Africa or something.
Yeah.
My PTO does not accumulate. As soon as it accumulates, I need time off.
You need to go.
Yeah. I need time off. I need time for myself. It's personal time off.
Oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to be because unakumbuka when I resigned from a job recently. That's what I did. Nilikuwa nimeweka 2 weeks notice. Alafu ile like 4 days before 2 weeks notice ziishe, nika realize sijaichukua PTO yangu ama off day nini. Nikatuma email nikasema unachekile PTO yangu imeaccumulate anything. Nilisema tu if kuna any time yangu imeaccumulate yote, ikuwe ni 5 days off, ikuwe ni nini, mimi sasa nipeeni hizo siku zimebaki sitakam, nipeeni paid days.
Right?
Yeah, nipeeni ikuwe paid days. Na wakanipea bro, mimi sasa baada ya kungoja 14 days kuresign nilingoja ka 10 days. Sikuenda hizo siku ine.
Nice.
Na nikalipo bado.
Ndio.
Yeah, so take it bana. Usipoitake utaachia mtu hapo tu aende vacation.
Yeah, since then I'm like, I just pay me my PTO. Let me just take it.
Yeah, please, tumalizane bana.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's been a journey. I don't regret anything.
Yeah, definitely no regrets. You don't regret. You learn. You become better.
Yeah.
Na wewe sasa hata una regret nini? Unajua hata nikuulize like a naive someone who's never been in healthcare. Una regret nini na wewe ni mdosi?
Mdosi gani? Wacha kwanza tuonge. Hiyo maybe ni another topic for another day. Unafikiria hizi do zinaenda wapi? Bills, the more you make, the more money, more problems.
More money, more problems.
The more you make, the more bills zinachukua, the more you get taxed.
Yeah.
Your tax bracket is higher, especially if you're single.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you're taking home. It's still a good amount, but, you know, the higher you go, the Uncle Sam anachukua pia.
I was saying to a friend that Uncle Sam will never give you the visa, give you the green card, give you a chance to work and live in the United States, alafu akupee pesa tu, atufanye kazi akupee pesa uende kwa beach. Hapana.
No.
Anakupeaga pesa ndio ukae kwa hapa hivi uendelee kumtajirisha.
Yep.
Yeah, anakupea pesa ya kukuweka comfortable kidogo usahau tu dreams twako.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
but all in all, sio mbaya.
All in all, si mbaya. Bora nasemaga every morning, as long as you have a roof over your head. Mimi hata nile time sijisikii kuomba, nasemaga thank you for a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food kwa tumbo yangu ama kwa fridge. Bas.
Yeah.
Basic needs, at least maisha yangu inaendelea.
Yeah. Basic needs.
Yeah, so I see what you mean. Thank you, Manze, for sharing your experiences na just for creating time for this. Na najua wase wengi wenye wanamulika healthcare ama wenye wako kwa healthcare na wanafeel peke yao, wanafeel wanalemewa. They will get encouraged because if you've been able to do that since you started actually your life in the US, yet you will deviate. It also shows resilience and consistency. Because personally, there are things I can be consistent with. There are things, kama hiyo me personally, naweza sema in healthcare, I am not a pro in that area. Na nikikuja nilikuwaga naongea mbaya sana nikiwa mgeni. Nilikuwa naongea mbaya sana kuhusu healthcare nini, but being in that environment, Nilisema anyone mwenye amepiga healthcare na bado anaipiga, hayo ni mtu. Ni kichwa kibovu.
Unakumbuka before you started?
Yeah.
We had a conversation, nikakwambia, just go experience it and let me know.
You knew what I was taking myself. Yeah, but I took it so lightly.
You did, I noticed.
Yeah, nilisema tu saa mimi nilikuwa shangona niambia nini sasa.
I know.
Hata tu niende mimi nipate do yangu kama nimetoka bana.
Oh. Bro.
Where there's more than what meets the eye.
There is.
Yeah, hiyo kitu ni si ya kukimbiliwa pia, but me I like it because it gives a perspective, because ilinionyesha regardless of what you pursue, either ikuwe ni healthcare job, ikuwe ni IT job, ikuwe ni kukua na kinyozi yako, ikuwe ni kukua na car wash yako, whatever you decide to do business wise, employment wise, it's going to be tough. It will require a lot from you. Na ni kuvumilia tu na kuget wise na kukua consistent at it. Unaona? Juu kuna time tulikuwa tunaongea nikasikia nikaona sound ni kama una feel vibaya ukikumbuka frustration uko nazo and you've invested your time in it. Nikakwambia hapana. Wewe at least you've invested your time on it na unaona mazao. During that period of time, career yako imegrow au yuko kwenye ulianzia. So big up yourself and anyone anapiga scrubs daily. Require a lot of patience, resilience, hard work, consistency na kumanage, navigate hizo house of cards, hizo siasa za job. Na mali kuna hiyo vile mademu uko sana kila siku na clicks.
I know.
I know. Yeah. Thank you for coming through, Manze.
Anytime, Joe.
Yeah. Wacha ni kuacha upumzike. I know you're umetoka on call, but I will keep in touch.
On call.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye.